What's good, gang? So today we're going to be interviewing one of my mentees. This is something very new to the channel. Haven't done this before, but we're going to go ahead and start this up. Every now and then I'm going to bring up a mentee. They're going to share their story, share some insights, and yeah, just take it from there. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. Before I go ahead and bring one of my mentees on, his name is Karlton. He's been in my mentorship for I think roughly over a year now, just over a year, coming up to 2 years maybe. I think a year and a half. He was about to give up, joined the mentorship, and now he's doing absolute bits. So let's go ahead and bring on Karlton. How you
What is
doing?
up, man?
Good, man.
Man, I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, not doing too bad, not doing too bad, man. I thought
Yeah,
it'd be
great.
good to get your perspective, your insight. I know I'm looking this way because this is where my screen is and this is where you are, but my camera's
Right.
there. So it's just good to get you on this call right now and just to go through just things about you and the mentorship, how you've managed to balance both, how it's affected you in your life as well. Carlton's a blessed mentee. Like I said, he was about to give up, join the mentorship, and after joining the mentorship, he had these ups and downs as mentees normally do as well. But he was being able to pass funded challenges as well. So, guys, yeah, this is Carlton right here, man. I know I've just given you a little introduction, but go ahead and
Yeah.
introduce yourself for the Liquidity Gang.
Well, all right, gang, man. So it was funny how it all worked out,
Mm.
right? So I got into trading um, by a complete accident. I was on Facebook and I saw this ad from a guy who was he was it was an advertisement about supply and demand.
Okay.
And and when I went to his website, he sent me to uh, a salesman, and they quoted me like $15,000 or something like that. And
Damn.
I was like, right,
15K.
15K,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
And I was like, that's not going to be my thing. So, um, but I didn't want to give up on it because this is something that I didn't know that people did from their home.
yeah.
You know, the whole time, the only people that I knew that were in that type of field had brokers and people working their money for them.
Yeah.
So uh, the way I came across your channel, mind you, I spent about 6 months trying to do support and resistance. Yeah,
Okay,
I
yeah.
tried it, man.
How did that go for you, by
No
the way?
luck
How
at
did?
all.
No, no luck, no luck.
No,
No,
no luck at all.
it whips past
It,
you all the time. You don't really know which one's which one's gonna hold.
yeah,
But yeah, yeah, I feel you.
yeah. It was horrible, right? So I came across your channel. I think his name was Trader Nick. He made a video saying that SMC was fake.
Oh, that video.
Right.
Okay, I remember that video. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, SMC. I was like, what is this SMC? I looked into it. I was like, oh, this is all right. And then I
Yeah,
came across ICT.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, and then I saw your video. Yeah. So, I liked your personality. You were like, oh man, you had the personality, and that's what was, missing from uh
Mm,
a lot of coaches out there.
mm,
And I was like, I started looking at your videos, and it was simple and easy to follow. You know what I
mm,
mean? It was.
yeah.
I was like, oh man, this dude. And then you said you had a mentorship, and I was like, don't have the money for a mentorship. You
Mm,
know,
mm,
I was like,
mm.
okay. And man, I was just about to give up, and you were doing a raffle.
Okay, yeah, I remember the raffle.
You were doing a raffle
Yeah,
for a free lifetime membership and
yeah.
the new way of scapping,
Okay, yeah, I
course.
remember that.
And I won. You should have seen me. And I was telling my wife, I was running around the house. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I'm
Oh yeah.
in.
Yeah.
I'm in. This
Let's
could be
go.
it. This could
Yeah.
be it. Yeah, I mean, heart's racing.
Wow.
I'm thinking, in 2 weeks, man, I'm about to be, you know, raking in the
Going
money
in.
and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and not just really respecting the craft that goes into it.
Mm,
So, I got humbled really quick, man. So I
yeah.
started buying funded challenge after funded
Mm.
challenge.
Those first 2 weeks,
Yeah,
how was those first 2 weeks for you? Did you make profit? Did you blow accounts? What was it like those first 2 weeks in the mentorship?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So within my first week, I caught a 10R trade
10 hour
on
trade.
EU.
Wow.
Yeah, then within that first week, I mean, you couldn't tell me I was walking around the house pounding on my chest, you know. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I got it all figured out, man. I was humbled right after that.
Mm, mm, mm.
But what I did was, man, I stuck to your weekly videos and
Mm.
asked questions,
Yeah.
and and it's, never missing a team call. And when you were explaining what you were seeing on these markets was, it was everything for me. It gets deep on those calls, man.
No, for real. Lester, you like to go deep in those calls. Do you know what? I really enjoy those calls, to be honest. I had a
Hmm.
question for you. So you mentioned that you came across ICT stuff and you came across mine. So why did you
Hmm.
decide to stick with mine? No shade to ICT, first of all. Shout out to you. But why did you decide to go with my mentorship? I don't know
Hmm.
whether you did it both at the same time.
No, I actually never learned anything from ICT. Um, his teaching style was too one scattered, and um, the rants kind of lose me. I'm
Okay.
super ADD,
Mm,
so when you're talking about personal things versus what everybody's here for,
mm,
I mean, granted, he was doing it for absolutely free. I mean,
yeah. But yeah, the stress will get to you
no
and
knock
stuff.
to him.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, no knock to him, but
Mm,
um, but sometimes, if I'm watching a hour and a half video and
mhm.
I got 15 minutes worth of information, you just kind of lose motivation.
Okay, I see.
So, but with yours, man, I mean, it was straight and to the point, and it was almost like ICT for dummies.
I got a comment saying like this is the bootleg ICT. I took it. I was like, okay, if he's the
Hey,
mentor's mentor, I don't mind. I'm not trying to compete with nobody. I just do my own thing, stay in my lane, and keep
yeah,
it moving. I do hear you on the rants as well. Like me personally, whenever I watch these videos, I can kind of stomach the rants. I can stomach them because I'm just
hmm,
fascinated. But it's not
yeah,
everyone. Everyone's a bit different. You know what I mean? Some people can't, some people
yeah.
can. You either do or you don't. It is what it is. You kind of got lost in there, but then mine was a bit more straight to the
Oh
point.
yeah, way more straight to the point. Just
Yeah,
they're like, look, this is what I do. This is
yeah.
what you need to know, and this is what I'm looking at, and this is how you can take advantage of it. That's what I needed. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm not the sharpest knife on the counter. You know what I mean?
Mm.
No, you don't have to be. You just got to be dedicated.
Exactly,
So
exactly. So you said you got humbled real quick. So what was that humbling
yeah.
experience? Because I know some people want to jump on, and yes, you will be able to do or catch something like that. A larger R
Hmm.
trade, but you get so excited, then you get humbled. You get humbled, and I've heard of a
Right.
number of stories like that. So talk us through that.
Well, okay. So first, I was still pretty much brand new to the whole SMC ICT concepts
Mm,
type of thing. So I just thought if I could catch a down closed candle and ride that thing up, that was it. But there's so many more. The market doesn't behave in one way,
yeah.
you know. So yeah. Um, once the whole down closed candle thing wasn't, giving me what I wanted, I was like, okay, I'm just lost. So now I'm just taking trades,
Yeah, I hear you.
you
Yeah.
know. And it was, and it was so bad, man. I wouldn't even go back into the bedroom with my wife or anything. I would just lay on the couch because I didn't want to face
Ah,
her.
there you go. Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
that. So how
yeah.
did you
I
manage
just
to
kept
come around or come out of that? Because if you're going through a cycle of just blown accounts all the time, how did you actually
mhm.
get out from that?
Not giving myself a plan B.
Hmm.
Not giving myself. I wasn't giving myself a plan B because I knew I was in this thing for the long haul.
Yeah.
Even you yourself, you didn't, just right off the back start making money. I was like,
No.
I hold you to high regards, and I was like, if he took the time and put in the work, then I should too. It's not if it's not going to come easy, then it's
Hmm.
just not going to come easy. You got to work
Yeah.
for it.
No, I totally agree because I was listening to someone. This is back in the day. I mean, couple years back. I was speaking to somebody and they were saying you have to earn the right to trade a larger lot size. You can't just
Yeah,
jump straight in there. And so
yeah,
I feel like that's the trick
nope,
with these funded accounts. With these funded
yeah,
accounts, it's like you're exposed to a whole lot of demo money,
hmm,
and you think, oh yeah, I can trade a larger lot size, but then you haven't readied
yeah,
yourself emotionally to trade 15 lots or to trade
right,
20 lots. But because the
hmm,
account is there, you think you end up blowing it, boom, that's it.
yeah,
And then you go through
boom.
that cycle, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, and that greed gets you every time,
Oh, greed,
taking
yeah.
trades when you know you shouldn't be taking trades, but you
Oh,
just
here we
say, "Hey,
go.
let me just
Yeah.
try it out anyway." Now you just kind of messed up your day because now you're in drawdown for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, for funded accounts is uh it's it could be good, but it could be very bad at the same time. It just depends on the person and maturity, honestly.
I hear you. From deciding to go with my mentorship, joining a raffle, jumping on board, catching your first 1 to 10 hour trade, then getting humbled,
Yeah.
what was your plan B?
My plan B was just to go back to the sheriff's department. I was there for
Mm,
10 years.
mm,
Uh, uh, I left for, a lot of things that were happening around the sheriff's department. Pretty much we were getting bad publicity and,
okay.
changes were being made and it was making it really unsafe for us to work
Yeah.
there. So yeah, that would have just been my plan B was just to go back to the sheriff's department.
So when you joined the mentorship, what would you say was your biggest challenge?
Uh, my biggest challenge was um, applying the knowledge.
Mm,
I think that's most people's. Uh, you know, that's the biggest challenge is applying the knowledge and not overthinking it. So when it came to Forex, what I would do was instead of looking for those killers, I had a set plan. I'm getting a 1 to 3.
mm,
It doesn't matter how many losses I take. It doesn't matter how consistent I am. A 1 to 3 is my aim. If it goes higher than that, so be it. But I need something I can get consistently.
mm,
You know, instead of even though I wasn't trading towards the money at that point just yet, I
mm-hmm,
was like, can I pinpoint where I need to get in and get out,
mm.
get my 1 to 3 and get out and just be happy with it.
It's a different kind of emotion, a different kind of psychology it takes to hold a 1 to 10 hour trade. What did it take you from going from a 1 to 3 mindset to a 1 to 10 hour mindset?
Mindset wise, it really didn't take anything as far as mustering up courage or anything like that. It's just the more you see it, the more I know where I am in the market.
Mm,
And when I knew where I was in the market, I was like, okay, if it gets above this high and it holds, then I know I'm good. I always thought that there was going to be a aha moment, like
okay, yeah.
I'm not profitable this day and I'm profitable this day. Then I
Okay,
just
yeah.
thought it was going to click, but in I'm not gonna. I'm kind of disappointed that that didn't happen, but
Yeah.
it just all intertwines
Yeah.
together because you're in it day and night, day and
Mm,
night, day and night.
mm,
So I mean, I live in the U.S. I'm an
yeah.
hour behind New York,
Yeah.
and I was trading 1 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then I would kind of sleep after New York session, and
Mm,
then get up, back test, watch your videos,
yeah. So that's how you
eat
manage
and stuff like
to
that.
navigate the time difference. Because I'm in the UK, I get
Yeah.
messages all the time about how does it work if you're in the US and you're in the UK. Can you just elaborate on that
Mhm.
just a little bit more?
Yeah. So I think you're 5 hours ahead of New York,
Yeah.
and so you're six hours ahead of me.
Mm,
And so whenever you would say a time, I would just take it back 6 hours, and that would be my time.
yeah.
And if I couldn't make it to something, like if you were having a team call in the morning your time, then I knew I probably wouldn't be awake for it, and I would
Mm,
just watch the recordings.
mm,
I remember the first time on your team call, dude. You said, "Anybody have any questions?" She said,
yeah.
"Please ask questions." And I was so
Yeah.
scared. I was,
Ah, that's the thing.
yeah. And I'm
Mm,
telling you, it took about the second or third team call for me to ask
mm.
the questions. But man, I was so scared, dude. And whatever question I have is going to
Yeah.
be idiotic to him, probably.
For me, I know when I
Yeah.
was doing my accounting job, I remember there was stuff they used to tell me to do things, and there was some things I just didn't know how to do. The environment was so toxic that I just felt so ashamed and so little if I put out my hand to ask a question, and they made me
Hmm.
feel like that. So I said to myself, if I'm ever gonna do anything, if I'm gonna run a company, if I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna encourage asking questions. So I always encourage you guys. There is no silly question.
Yeah.
There is no dumb question.
Yeah.
Literally, I will answer every single
Thanks.
question, especially on the team call. And so
Yep.
you said it took you about 3 team calls to ask your first question. And
Yeah.
then when you did ask your question, how did you feel? Did you feel a bit nervous, or what was it like?
Oh yeah, I
The
was still
response?
nervous. I was still
Yeah,
nervous,
of
because
course.
I was, by this time I'm depressed. I'm not feeling the greatest.
Yeah.
So, but when I did ask the question and you answered it with pure enthusiasm, willing to help, ready to help, and I mean, it was great because the size of the group, man, you could really help individual get personal and help individual people. So,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these discords or whatever that I was in before, it was none of that. It was strictly,
Mm-hmm.
hey, this is what I'm looking at. Good luck. you know.
I hear you.
But
Yeah,
with you, man, it was man, it's been a pleasure.
yeah,
For what 18 months later, it's still a
yeah.
pleasure.
Praise God, man. Thank God. So, what would you
Yeah.
say is the best part of the mentorship? Is it the team calls? Is it the chart analysis? Is it the questions asked? Yeah. What would you say it is for you?
For me, I would say the first thing that I took advantage of, I guess I can go by that, was the team calls, right?
Mm,
And I would switch back between. I went back months on the team calls,
mm,
and between that and your YouTube videos, and
mm,
just try to mix the two, which I've eventually did. But but honestly, I would say everything about it, because it was not only the team calls, the chart analysis, uh, being able to reach you. You tell us every week, hey, I'm gonna be off, the charts today, but leave a message here or send me a DM, and I'll
yeah.
get back with you. I mean, you're always open, you're always available,
Mm.
and I appreciate that.
That's all good. That's all good. What would you say was your turning point? I know you said there was no aha moment because I feel like it's just a
Hmm.
gradual thing. It's not really like, oh,
Yeah.
there might be like certain concepts like, oh, so that's how you use it. But then it's
Hmm.
everything intertwined, and then it just becomes sort of like roll off your tongue. You get to see it on the charts day in day out.
Yeah, I would say just being more disciplined and waiting
Mm,
for confirmation. That's when the consistency came.
mm,
So instead of just trying to hop in, trying to catch the low, I mean, I was trying to catch those lows like crazy,
yeah.
and ride them up, or catch the top and sell them down. I was trying to catch those, but once I became more comfortable, not trying to catch the, just get my piece of the pie,
Mm,
and whatever that may be is it. That's when I was like, okay,
mm,
I got my thing.
yeah.
I was like,
Hmm.
it was like, and even though in the chart analysis, man, I was, even on Instagram, and I was seeing you, man, you were catching every little piece of it, man. And I was
Yeah.
just like, man, that's, hey, the man is blessed. I can't be mad at the coach. People trading live on YouTube, right? I
Yeah.
still do this to this day,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm going for a short." I was like, "Oh, that's funny because I'm going for a long
You
right now.
go
And I'm
for the
about to I'm
long.
about to take your
Yeah.
stop loss."
Well, I'm telling you now, my turning point, boy, my turning point started trading towards stop losses. And
Yeah,
then that's when things started changing for me. I literally said, oh, these suckers, this is what they've been doing. They've been trying to take me out all this time. And that's where
yeah,
the money's being made. And
hmm,
so I said, you know what? I'm going to trade towards the money. And that was it. Trade
yep,
towards the money. And that's my only advice. My only advice to
yep,
every trader. And it might sound so cliche. People might be bored of it. People might not like it. I don't care. It is trade
hmm,
towards the money. I'm telling you now, if you trade towards the money,
yep,
you're most likely going to win most of your trades. Everyone has their turning point. Everybody has their moment and say, you know what, I need to make this count for me. What am I gonna have to do?
yeah,
Yours was scaling back and digging deep into the
hmm,
mentorship. Mine was switching it around. I'm trading towards stop losses now. Like, I've had enough. There was always that talk of smart money, smart money. Oh, they're doing this, so smart money. I said, okay, if they're trading towards the money, I'm gonna follow them and do what they do.
let me say this for the people who are scared to get in once the low or the high has been made, right?
Yeah.
They're like, I've 9 times out of 10, if a lower high has been made, it's to some institutional candle, right?
Mm,
Right. And if it's moving, right? Because I see a lot of people who, I see this in the mentorship. I see a lot of people, once that lower high has been made and they miss the initial move, just wait for some more money to be taken.
mm,
Wait for some
mm,
more money to take it, and it reaches
mm,
your POI. You
mm,
hop in, you get in.
mm,
Don't worry about trying to make the tightest stop loss. Money is money.
mm,
If you got to
mm,
scale back the lot sizes or the contract sizes,
mm.
do that.
It doesn't even
Hmm.
need to be the lowest low, catching the low, catching
Yeah,
the high. You could wait for the next
yeah,
best opportunity, jumping off of that. Use that fair value gap.
exactly.
Use it. We've
Yeah,
spoken about fair value gaps on this channel before. We've spoken about it in the mentorship over and over every single
yeah.
day. Use those
Every single day.
SOPs. Use those order
Yeah.
blocks. And we've spoken about a number of things: institutional candles, institutional order flow.
Hmm.
There's so many ways you can jump into a trade.
If you got to walk away and let the trade play out.
For sure.
All right.
So when you're in a trade, are you that type of person who's just, yeah, I'm on the screen, just, yeah, let's just go. You're watching it, or are you the type of person to say, do you know what? okay, I'm in the trade. This is potentially going to be a 1 to 10 or whatever the R is. I'm going
Hmm.
to go about and do what I need to do and come back and check in every now and then.
I've done both.
Mm,
I do both. So if there's something to do, especially with my daughters,
mm,
then I'll leave. I don't
mm,
if I'm confident in the trade, I took it. I'm confident in the trade.
yeah.
I've left the house, came back, and I was stopped at break even, uh, or the TP was hit. It happens
Mm,
both ways.
mm,
So, but yeah, but when I am watching, I'm not freaking out
mm.
anymore.
Anymore.
Before I would go up, however many dollars in profit, I was like, oh man, I gotta get out. I
Mm,
can't stand it.
mm,
I can't
mm.
stand it. I would hold my losers longer than my winners. It was
Oh,
crazy.
tell me about it. That was me as well.
Uh,
I remember. Oh, I've told this story before. I've gone to bed just looking at my phone and just in red like this, and I've been watching it for about 20 minutes, falling asleep. Woke up during the night, and again gone to bed.
yeah,
It's still in red. But yeah,
yeah,
don't be holding them losers. Oh, if I'm
yeah,
if
yeah.
I'm losing a trade, I'm out within minutes. One advice just to everybody out there is the longer you stay in your losers, the more damage it's doing to your psychology. And so what would happen
Uh-huh,
then is the moment you go into profit, oh, I'm taking that. I'm taking that because
uh-huh,
I was in a loss for about 4 hours yesterday, and I'm just in profit now 10 minutes, and I'm panicking already. You end up taking that. I'm either instantly wrong within, let's say, 5 minutes or
uh-huh.
so, or I'm instantly right within those same five
Exactly.
minutes. For me, the team call is where it's at. You get to ask the questions, you get to do all of that,
Uh-huh,
and then the chart analysis throughout the week. I really try to give as much detail as possible without giving too much detail where it's like what enough is on your
uh-huh.
chart. I like to update as the day goes on as well. But at the same time, as you guys have seen, there's losses and there's wins. Don't
Exactly.
want people thinking that there's no
You're
losses.
winning every day.
You're winning
Yeah.
and you're losing. There's going to be some days
Uh-huh,
you lose, and you've heard me say it many times in a mentorship. Look, I'm on the sidelines. I'm taking it out. I'm not trading today. And there's going to be some days where
right.
I'm like, I'm all in. Let's go. All in, all in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's some aggressive days, and there's some days that just getting slapped up, and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's what it is. So then, for you, then, was there ever a time when you thought trading ain't working for me right now? I feel like it's
Oh
giving
yeah.
up.
Right before you could put the whole puzzle together. See, just half the battle is just knowing where you are in the market. You know what I mean? And whether you're bullish for the day or bearish for the day, that daily bias is a huge deal. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So and just trying to pinpoint what you should be doing for that day. That's half the battle. And sometimes I mean to this day, I'll get it wrong the first go around, and before I get that loss. I mean before I get that win. So, I'll have to take that loss before I get that win about 50% of the time.
Mm,
So, and if I take a loss, I'm just like, all right, that probably shouldn't happen. Let me get more confirmation,
mm,
and then I'll get my little, 1 to 3, 1 to 4.
yeah.
I'm good for the day.
One of the differences between like the way I like to teach you guys and share on YouTube and
Hmm.
other people is like it's like I like to enter in at the highest point or the lowest point. And sometimes you're gonna
Hmm.
get stopped out. Sometimes you're gonna get stopped out
Yep.
once, maybe twice,
Yep.
and then you catch that large move sometimes. I might have been in a bit too early here. Let's go again. You
Hmm.
understand? Or let me wait, like you said, wait for another confirmation and then let me jump in.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then really utilizing the concepts, just understanding them, because I feel like a lot of people just don't understand how to use the concepts, the fair
Right.
value gaps, the
Yeah.
looking at the institutional candles, looking at
Hmm.
the short-term lows, short-term highs, and knowing how price is treating them. People don't know how to use it,
Yeah.
and so that's why I like to
Exactly.
really just dedicate, basically show you guys every single day how to use the same concepts over and over again. I remember there was one person, and no shame to them, no shade to them either, but they said to me, well, is there anything new? I was like, no, I keep it simple. I keep it very simple. I say it's the same stuff.
Hmm.
It should be boring. At times, did you find it just repetitive?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Mm,
it is repetitive at this point, but I look for pretty much the same thing every day. I look at certain things, institutional candles, doing the top-down analysis.
mm-hmm,
Um, I look at fair value gaps, large displacement.
mm,
Is there an urgency, or
mm,
are these gaps getting filled
mm,
immediately, or are they you know setting up the little SMC trap or whatever, and
yeah,
then going, So I look at the same thing. It is repetitive,
yeah,
but that's what I want.
yeah.
I don't want the market to,
Change, yeah.
Uh,
You don't want it to change.
I don't want, yeah, I don't want it to
No,
change to
nothing
where I
will.
have to look at something new.
How long did it take you to see profitability in Forex trading, to be consistent in Forex trading? How long did that take you?
Forex trading, it took about, well, after joining your mentorship, it took about 6 months of just day and night
Mm,
going at it before I was, consistent. You
mm,
know, I was profitable, um, not by a lot,
mm,
but it was way better than just blowing accounts, and I was getting
mm-hmm.
small payouts, but I was good with it.
Because a lot of
Hey.
people, they don't get payouts. A lot of people don't are not
Hmm.
profitable. So even if you're making that extra
Hmm.
50 quid, extra 25 quid, £100 or dollars, whatever it is,
Hmm.
you're still
Yeah.
profitable. That is still profitable,
Yeah.
and that's only the
Yep.
beginning of your journey. What was
Right.
the reason you transitioned to futures, and are you still doing both?
No, I'm not. I'm not doing both anymore.
Mm,
But I switched over because of all the legal problems that these prop firms were having
mm,
regarding the U.S. and they just stopped taking U.S. clients.
yeah,
And once some of the behind the scenes things that were taking place came to light,
yeah.
for the public to see, I just kind of lost trust in forex prop firms, so I just kind of
All
stayed
the
away from it from
manipulation.
since then.
And so you transitioned to futures. How was it like transitioning
Yeah,
what you had learned from forex trading over to futures?
I'm not gonna lie, man, it was tough. It was tough, um, simply because before going to futures, I had never won a single trade on indices. All my trades were on GU and EU,
G&E,
right?
okay.
Um, a couple trades on USD Swiss franc,
Hmm.
but outside of that, that is pretty much it. I mean, those pairs were my bread and butter, and that's what I stick to.
Mm.
But it was tough just because once once those indices, man, once they get going,
Oh, they're
they are
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
They are gone.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't used to that. I was like, man, that's not enough manipulation in these. I was like, once they get going, man,
Mm-hmm.
it's out of here, man. You gotta get it going. You know what I mean? You better hop on that train when it's there.
Yeah.
That just
Yeah.
why I wasn't used to that. It took about 3 months.
Okay. Did it help in having other people in the mentorship that were trading futures too?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Uh, Bill, man, he was my driving force, man.
Yeah.
It's like I gotta, hey, shout out to Bill, man.
Yeah. Shout out
He's
to
been
Bill.
doing this thing for a while, you
Mm,
know.
mm,
It's but I stepped away from the prop firms just
mm,
because uh, I wasn't seeing the results for a while, so I started trading my own personal account because I
yeah.
knew I would take care of it better,
Mm,
you know.
mm,
And
mm,
even though it was a small account, making small, a few hundred withdrawals here, a few
mm,
hundred there, and then I was like, okay, I told Bill, uh, I think it was Wednesday
yeah.
that I was gonna get a
Oh,
prop firm account with the futures.
oh,
So
last week Wednesday you told him.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
wow. Okay. Last week Wednesday.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I went ahead and got an account right after I told him,
Yeah.
and then I traded that day and the day after that and passed it.
Yeah, wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Wait. So you're saying last week Wednesday. Today is the 23rd of July. Okay, wait, when was last week
Hmm.
Thursday, man? Let's go get that calendar out. Let's quickly go get my
Yeah.
calendar out. Let me just double check because I had to know the time
Hmm.
frame because you transitioned from Forex to futures. You got your last week Wednesday
Hmm.
was the 17th and you passed it on Friday, the 19th.
On Thursday, I passed it.
Oh, the next day. Oh, that's crazy.
The next day,
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
So you got your funded challenge last week Wednesday. You passed it on a Thursday.
Yeah.
You hear about these funded challenges taking forever to do, but you was
Hmm.
able to transfer your skills from forex trading into trading the futures and pass it
Hmm.
in one day. Wow. Do you plan to
Okay.
pass more funded accounts?
Oh yes, yes, sir. I mean, they
Oh,
offer.
let's
I
go.
mean, if you offer me 20 accounts, whatever I
20
make times
accounts.
20. Oh yeah.
Wait. What well, I know it, but for everyone watching, what is the funded who are you with? Who are you funded with?
I'm with Apex Trader Funding.
Okay, okay, cool. They
So,
offered you 20
I mean,
accounts. Damn.
20 accounts of your choice. So, a lot of
Damn,
people don't like their
20.
rules or whatever, but
Yeah.
their rules don't really affect my trading. So,
Mm, mm, mm,
yeah,
mm,
I mean, hey, 20 accounts, and I'm just going to use that and fund my personal account so I can for
mm.
larger returns,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much what it is.
What did it take for you to do that? What does it take for someone to be able to transition over, see what you saw in the Forex, in futures, and then go ahead and pass a funded challenge?
You have to really not go for them. Don't show up for the money, right? I mean, overall, we all show up for the money. I'm not sitting over here, saying something that I don't, but when I show up, I show up. I was showing up every day for understanding.
Mm,
You know what I mean? It's just almost like if you feed a man, you feed him for a day. But if you teach a man how to hunt, then you feed him for life. And I was trying to teach myself
mm,
how to get my own food.
mm,
And that's what I was showing up for. I was just following what I believe was the process. And
okay.
and the process is what got me there. I kind of disconnected myself from the money,
Mm,
and I went towards the for understanding more than
yeah.
anything else.
And I think that's what you said in the beginning. You said that when you first joined the mentorship, you caught your 1 to 10 hour trade. So now you
Hmm.
believe that it was possible, and then you
Yeah.
got humbled. That's when you started going for those 1 to 3s. So you had to scale it back a little bit.
Hmm.
Said, you know what, I don't want to do
Yeah.
too much. I'm going to scale it back and
Yeah.
learn that way. Now you've passed your funded challenge for futures.
Hmm.
What would you say are your steps to make sure you keep that account and stay disciplined?
Trade management.
Mm,
Honestly, just making sure I have a calculated risk.
mm,
I know what my strike rate is. I might lose two in a row and then win one. I might lose one and then win two. Is just making sure I don't put too much on the table,
mm,
and I'm just not too excited or too bummed out if I lose.
mm-hmm.
It's just stand not too high, not too low,
Yeah.
and just trading what I see and not what I want to see.
Yeah, I think that's key. There was a few questions from Instagram. I want to
Okay.
go ahead and if it's still there actually, well, I should be able to find it. But there was a few questions from Instagram. So I literally just asked people if you could ask my one of my mentees any question, what would you say? Is Harrison more about the personal account or props? But okay, maybe I should ask that question. Personal account, but funded accounts are still fine.
Mhm.
I know with the Forex funded accounts, there's been so much drama about them. Stick to the household names. How long did it take you before you were consistently profitable? I know we kind of answered that already, but
Yeah, was 6 months in Forex, and then an additional 3 months once I switched over to futures. Just to get take what you taught
mm,
and apply that to the behavior of futures.
I feel you.
So
Okay.
it was like just because they overall do the same thing, but the behavior of it is a
Mm,
little different, and that just threw me off for a while.
okay, cool. Is there a course, or do you just ask
Oh,
questions?
and it's been a pleasure from day one. I
Mm,
mean, it's nothing but positive energy. I mean, even it's even in your rules.
mm,
No hate, no down talking, no talking crazy up in there.
mm. Yeah,
Everybody's it's a family in there.
yeah,
You know, and if
yeah.
you and if you can't even answer the questions, it's people always in there answering the questions for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, defo.
So
So
it's
like you
it's
said, it's
it's a
like a
family in
family.
there.
Yeah. For the mentorship, there is no course. It's literally you hop into them team calls, you get stuck in. So there's quite a lot of mentoring videos, but it's all about trying to understand the language. Once you understand the language, everything starts to fall in place. So that's why I always recommend watch about 5 team calls back and then try to catch up. Obviously, still catching the current ones
Hmm.
as well, and start to begin to understand the language, and then you start to catch on with how I trade. Are you willing to be
Yeah.
patient to let price play out, come back the next day when you have a loss?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because if uh, the way I'm looking at it, I'm so picky. I've learned this just from trading a personal account
Mm,
that I'm so picky that if I lose two times in a row
mm,
that day, I'm done for the day. You
mm,
know. So and I'll pick it up tomorrow. So because I'm not so I got to catch this trade right now. So I'm like, hey, if it's going my way, it'll show me.
mm,
You know,
mm,
and I'll pick my spot. And if I get the very end of it, I just get the very end of it. A win is a win.
I know, no,
So
definitely agree with that. And I always tell you guys, once you run that liquidity, whether it's that Asia liquidity or some kind of equal
mhm.
lows or wherever it is, take
Yes,
partial profits.
Those are my favorites, especially in futures, man. If you leave those Asia highs or whatever or equal highs at the beginning of the session, oh, it's game over.
Oh, game over. Yeah,
It's game
that's what we're
over.
talking about.
Oh
Keep
yeah,
snatching those.
oh yeah, we come in 1 to 10 that day, baby.
Yeah. What would be your final message to other traders? They don't necessarily have to join the mentorship. This is not a talk where it's to encourage people to join. This is just more so just talking with one of
Hmm.
my mentees because you've been smashing it.
Right.
I've been seeing you in the mentorship as well. Just before you answer that, one thing I've really enjoyed about you is that you're asking questions. I'm telling people now, listen, this is the quickest way you're gonna learn. I've
Yeah.
been telling people,
Yeah.
especially if you
Yeah.
don't understand the team calls or the chart analysis, which people do understand, but obviously you're gonna have
Hmm.
questions. But you ask questions, you're not afraid to, and because of that, you've been able to
Right.
make mistakes and bounce back from it. For you, what would be your final message to other traders out there who are trying to make it in this trading industry?
I would say for the ones who are taking this thing serious, who are in this thing for the long haul, I would say take the bad with the good. Learn how to take the bad with the good. There are going to be great days. They're going to be pretty bad days,
Mm,
but just learn that. I mean, that's the cost of doing business. And once you learn that this trading thing is you run this trading thing like a business,
mm,
you know, then you learn to kind of wrap your mind around it and take it slow. One thing I liked about what you did was you didn't give us high expectations right off the bat.
mm,
You know what I mean? You said, hey, this is going to be a journey. It was me and one other dude that got in. You said, hey, take this thing slow.
mm,
Learn the markets, and I got this from you. You were like, hey, if you can't look at all the markets, just look at one.
mm,
Look at the DXY and look at EU or GU, and
mm.
that's what I was doing. And I just used you for motivation. I mean, like, dude, my wife is calling me a fanboy, man.
So even with me, if I come across somebody who I really
Yeah,
like the information that they're delivering, I become a sponge. That's what it is. Look, that's
yeah,
what it is.
yeah,
Success leaves clues.
yeah.
And so sponge off, take as much as you can. And I
Hmm.
keep saying it, ask those questions, take as much as you can
Yeah,
because for you, you're in here for lifetime mentorship. Other people might be in here
yeah,
for a month or 3 months. And I just say, look, guys, ask questions, take as much as you can because once you're gone, you only have that to bank on or
yeah.
that information to draw from.
Final message is, man, just stay balanced, understanding what you're seeing. Just look to understand what you're seeing.
Mm, mm.
And if you can't understand what you're seeing, stay out.
That's it. Stay out.
Stay out. If it's clear as day, hop on it.
That's what I'm talking about. Don't hesitate. Don't be posting in the chat. What you guys think about
Mm.
should just jump in.
Just jump in.
And like you said, if
Yep.
it's not there, just relax. Relax. It's
Yeah.
not good.
You relax.
I've been telling people it's not just trading, do other things. One of my passions
Hmm.
is home renovations, making
Yeah.
your house sparkle. Nobody knows that
Yeah.
about me, but I don't need to be sharing that stuff. It's just I get
Right.
excited. If I show you my recent renovation, oh boy, beautiful stuff. But that excites me. So then go
Oh
back, do
yeah.
something else, do a different project. It was one of the things we used to do back in the day. You would think you see something and it's just not there. You
Hmm.
end up losing all kinds of traits. And I second that. I definitely second that.
Oh yeah. For sure. I remember seeing this is shout out to Bill. I remember Bill, man, he was passing all those challenges, man. It was like back to
Challenge
back to
after
back.
challenge
Remember, it was
after
like three
challenge
days
after
in a row,
challenge.
dude.
Yeah.
I was like, my guy is killing it, And to this day, we still talking, in the DMs and stuff like that. I was like, my guy is killing it. And just seeing the future side of it work for him so quick. I mean, that was motivation for me, and I noticed that it could be hurtful or discouraging, seeing it uh, work for somebody and it's not working for you.
Mm.
Man, use that as motivation.
100%, bro.
Give
Yeah.
give them props, give them praise. Hey, brother, man, you
Yeah.
did your thing.
For
It'll
sure.
come
And
your way, dude.
for sure. And you know what? I remember one time my pastor said, he was just they were talking and talking about when God is blessing you,
Hmm.
don't be afraid to share what God is doing. You might not want to share it because you don't want to put someone down. No, it's share it. This is a shout out to every single one of my mentees, not just those who passed the challenge, because some people don't even use the challenges. Some people don't do that. They just treat their
Yeah.
own money. But shout out to every single mentee who's doing well. One of the reasons I always post those funded account passes is to encourage. It's only to encourage. It's not
Mm-hmm.
to put people down. It's not to discourage people, but it's to show you
Right.
that if they can do it, you can do it. If they're in the same
Yeah.
boat as you, in the same place, if they're showing up in the same area, same place, same time as you, then you can
Yep.
do it too. And so, like you said,
Exactly.
don't be discouraged about it. Use that as motivation to say, if he
Mm-hmm.
can do it, if she can do it, then I can do it. So that's why I always post it despite. So even when I was posting, um, passing a challenge, pass another challenge, same person passing challenge
Mm-hmm.
over and over and over again, then I'm posting
Mm-hmm.
it. Why? Because it shows
Oh
that,
yeah.
look, that you can do it, you can do it. Big shout out to you for passing your challenge. The speed at which you pass your challenge is absolutely amazing. Now, don't be that person that says, I need to pass it in one day. If you don't know what you're doing, you can end up blowing it. Shout out to you.
Yeah, man. I
You know,
appreciate it.
going in on Forex, finding that consistency, transitioning over to futures, and absolutely
Mm-hmm.
smashing it. But I see people speaking the same language as me. That's enough for me.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And shout outs to you, man. Was like, dude, it's like it's clear you don't have to do mentorship.
I don't.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It was like you don't have to do mentorship. So man, big praises to you, man. And I appreciate you. I'm so grateful for having you as my coach, man. It doesn't matter. As long as you're doing mentorship, I'm gonna be in there. You
Yeah,
know what I
for
mean?
sure.
So
Yeah,
yeah, it
I get
doesn't
you.
matter.
Yeah.
So
Oh
man,
no,
big
you
shout
guys
outs to
got.
you, man. I appreciate it, man. I love what you do. I love that you love what you're doing. For those who are not in this mentorship, you are cutting yourself short.
Mm,
You are cutting yourself short, and especially if you're not profitable specifically.
mm,
Just try it. Just
mm,
try it. I'm
mm.
telling you, it is worth it is worth the having someone just steer you. I mean, it could that you saved me about 5 years, bro.
Yeah,
You
listen,
saved me
you
about
said
five
you
years.
caught your first 1 to 10 in 1 week, I believe. Was it 1 week or 2 weeks?
Yeah.
I caught my first one to
Hmm.
10 in about 2.5 years. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, but that's the importance of mentoring. And,
Yeah.
and like you said, if you're not profitable, definitely, you don't even have to be in my mentorship. You can jump onto ICT's videos. You can try and learn there.
Hmm.
Whatever floats your boat. If it's my stuff, if it's
Right.
someone else's stuff, if it's just YouTube, then stick to that. It will save you a whole lot of time. A whole lot of
A
time,
whole
honestly.
lot of time.
Yeah. Thank you for
Man.
jumping on this call with me. And thank you
Yes,
for
sir.
sharing your insights, your experience as well. It's been a pleasure
Yes,
having you
sir.
in on this call and in the mentorship too.
Thanks for having me, man. It was a pleasure.